Break the board sports. Here we go. NFL Sunday best bets. Click that like, hit subscribe. Want to start over with the news. Baker Mayfield looks like he's going to be a go. That means Buccaneers go from a 3.5 to a 4.5 point favorite now over the Arizona Cardinals. Right now, that line sets 4.5. You're over under 45.5. Now, 69% ticket count equaling 32% of the handle going to the over. 31% ticket count equaling 68% of the handle to the under. Now, as far as the side goes, Bucs getting a lot of love. 71% of tickets equaling 64% of the handle. 29% of bets equaling 34% of the handle here. Arizona 1-8 straight up their last 9, but 5-1 ATS their last 6 on the road. Cardinals have been a covering machine for sure. They're also 5-0 ATS the last 5 matchups against Tampa. Now, Tampa slacked off a little bit here, getting mollywopped by the Rams and letting that Bills game really wasn't as close as what the score said. Tampa 1-4 ATS over their last 5 and 1-4 straight up. The last 13 meetings between these teams, the under has cashed 9 of the last 13. Now, Arizona comes in 3-8 straight up, 5-6 ATS. They're 2-3 straight up on the road. Tampa 6-5, still leading the South, but desperately need a win. 5-6 ATS. They're only 2-2 at home this year. Now, Arizona, we talked about 1-8 over their last 9. We're on a 3-game losing streak. Buccaneers, same way. Lost to the Patriots by 5, the Bills by 12, and the Rams by 27. 3-game losing streak, and they've lost 4 of their last 5. That other loss coming against the Lions. The only win against the Saints. So they have yet to beat a good football team here in a long time, has Tampa. Now, they last played 2022. Tampa won that game by 3 points. Obviously, the big thing is we talked about the health of Baker Mayfield and how he looks coming into this game. Listen, with Baker, the Bucs are always live. Now, one thing that I look at that I'm definitely going to do, I wish I had gotten it when it was 3.5 because the money line was like $1.54. Now it's minus $2. I think Tampa Bay Bucs with Alabama on Saturday night is a good play. I also look at this and say, okay, who else makes sense? And I did a show, check it out, Denver and Washington. But I think if you do Denver and Tampa Bay, money line parlay plus 105, I think that's got some good legs. If you did Tampa with the Chargers, can't see the Raiders beating Jim Harbaugh off the bye. Bucs Chargers minus $1.35. You get 2 home teams, both in a good spot here. I think that's got a really good bet to it. And that I actually bet myself, Bucs and Chargers. Next game I want to talk about, and this one may seem a little awkward talking about it, but I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Now, right now, over at DraftKings, that line sets 2.5, 72% ticket count, 78% of the handle going to the Falcons, 28% of ticket count, 22% of the handle going to the New York Jets. Now, that over under 39.5, which tells you low scoring, should be a closer game. 62% of bets, 54% of the handle over. Now, Michael Penix still out for the year, but Kirk Cousins looked good last week. We had him. 38% of ticket count, 46% of the handle going to the under. Now, Atlanta just 1-5 straight up their last 6. Jets 2-9 straight up their last 11. But the Jets are 4-2 against the spread their last 6. They have covered games. Atlanta, though, head-to-head with the Jets, 4-2 ATS the last 6 and 5-1 straight up the last 6 versus the Jets. The under is cash. 13 of the last 20 games for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Falcons and Jets, last time they met, 2023, a game the Falcons won in New York, 13-8. Falcons come into this 4-7 straight up, 5-5 ATS. The Jets just 2-9 straight up, but surprisingly, the Jets hang in there close, 7-4 ATS. When I look at this game, look, Jets on a 2-game losing streak again. Falcons beat the Saints last week. Right now, a lot of money, like I said, over 75% of tickets and handle going to the Falcons. I'm going to take the Jets, but I'm going to lay $1.20. I'm going to buy the hook. Give me Jets plus 3. I like the Jets in this spot. Cold, windy in the Northeast. You got a dome team outside. This is kind of one of those sleepwalk games where the Falcons should win. And their defense, the Falcons' defense isn't very good. I think the Jets hang around, do enough. They've been a little pesky as of late. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets got an outright win, believe it or not. And that seems a little crazy, but I can 100% see that happening. Next game I want to go to when you talk about big matchups is this Houston Texans Indianapolis Colts. Now, CJ Stroud, he's going to be back out of concussion protocol. Right now, the Colts, laying 3.5, 52% of bets. Colts, 48% Texans. So that's pretty close. 58% of money Texans, 42% of money Colts. Over under 44.5, and it's all under all the time. 60% of tickets, equaling 88% of the money, is going to the under in this game. Now, when you look at this, Houston, 4 and 10 ATS the last 14 against the Colts. So the Colts 10 and 4 ATS last 14. Colts have absolutely dominated them from an ATS standpoint. But the Texans have won 4 of the last 5 straight up from the Colts. The under, again, that Houston defense getting extra rest after their last win. 4 of the last 5 went under the total. Colts, 4 of their last 6 have went over the total. Now, Colts coming off that devastating loss to the Chiefs, a game they were in control of the whole game, just kind of let go there at the end. Colts 9 and 3 over their last 12, but the Colts have won 8 straight games at home. 8 straight games at home. The Colts have been able to cash the ticket. Now they're laying 3.5 to the Texans. Texans 2 games behind. I don't want to say it's a must win for the Colts, but you start to really things look a little different if they were to drop this game. Again, last 4 meetings, Texans have won 23-20, 29-27, 23-19. With last one, the Colts won in 2023. They won by 11. Other than that, you have to go back to 2021 where this game was more than that 11-point game. So they've all been around 3-4 points hanging around there. I like Houston plus 3.5. I really like Houston, though. I'm not playing them plus 3.5. I just like them. But something I did play is I did play the Houston Texans plus 10.5 with the Chargers minus 2.5 and a 7-point teaser. And also I had a 10-point teaser this week with the Texans plus 13.5, the Carolina Panthers plus 20. And then I also put in there the Seattle Seahawks minus 1.5. That was a 10-point teaser that I did. But I do think there's a lot of different things you can do with the Texans. I'm not sold on the Colts. I want to see this Colts offense match up against this Houston defense. And again, I think Daniel Jones, I think that glass slipper starting to fall a little bit here for the Colts. They better keep handing that ball off to Jonathan Taylor or they're going to find themselves in a really tight spot. Last game I want to touch on, and probably the biggest game implications, especially with Baltimore losing on Thanksgiving night, is the Buffalo Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Aaron Rodgers back, Steelers catching 3.5. 67% of the ticket count is on Buffalo, but it's only equaling 20% of the handle. 33% of the ticket count on Pittsburgh, equaling 80% of the handle. Now, the over-under is all whack too. 57% of bets to the over, but only equaling 7% of the money on that over 45.5. So gives you some reason to pause there for sure. When I look at this game and dive into it, man, I got to tell you something. I think Buffalo has to be careful. They're 12 and 6 their last 18, but Pittsburgh at home 4 and 1 ATS. They're 2 and 4 ATS their last 6 and 2 and 4 straight up their last 6. Pittsburgh's been a roller coaster. Their defense hasn't been that vaunted Pittsburgh defense Mike Tomlin usually has. Aaron Rodgers has actually looked decent, but Pittsburgh has been better at home than on the road, that's for sure. Now, Buffalo, 4 and 1 ATS the last 5 games they've played Pittsburgh. The under is cashed 5 of the last 7 that the Bills have played in, and 4 of the last 5 head-to-head matchups with Steelers and Bills have went under the total as well. Bills have had their issues covering. They're 3 and 6 ATS over their last 9. Bills come into this 7 and 4 straight up. Pittsburgh 6 and 5. Both teams 5 and 6 ATS. But 3 of the 4 losses for the Bills have been on the road. Now they're on the road in Pittsburgh. Weather shouldn't be an issue. Both of these teams are used to playing in frigid temperatures. But Buffalo 2 and 3 on the road compared to Pittsburgh 4 and 2 at home. Now, Buffalo's had some extra rest coming off that Thursday night loss 23-19 to the Houston Texans. They've dropped 2 of their last 3. That Miami one was squeezed in there as well. Now, Pittsburgh, Mason Rudolph almost guided the sleigh to beat the Bears, but they lost 31-28 to the Bears. Had Pittsburgh had won that game and been sitting 7 and 4 right now, they'd be in really good shape. Now I feel like Pittsburgh and Baltimore kind of opening the door here for Joe Burrow and company. Don't want them to get hot. These teams met back January 15, 2024 in the playoffs. Buffalo won that game 31-17, but it was in Buffalo. Listen, I think if you put Pittsburgh in a 7-point teaser here, plus 10.5, I think that gets you some good legs. For me, the other thing is here is defensively trying to contain Josh Allen. I think that's really where the game comes down to. If Pittsburgh can do a good job keeping him under wraps, Buffalo, 5th best offense in the NFL, 28.3 points per game. Pittsburgh, the 11th best, 24.9. And then Buffalo, they're giving up 22.9 points per game defensively. That's 17th compared to 20th. Pittsburgh giving up 23.9. Again, not a whole lot I'm crazy about here. I think Buffalo wins this game. But again, if you're telling me I get Pittsburgh plus 3.5, teasing it plus 10.5, that's the way to go. So for me, I'd say Pittsburgh in a teaser. Again, bets I love the most this week, I would put Tampa Bay together with the Chargers. I think both of those teams win. From a spread perspective, I like the Texans plus 3.5. I really like the Jets plus 3. And then another sneaky one I'm going to have do a short on it is this Rams-Panthers game. I think this is a live dog situation. I know that's kind of crazy to say because I've picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. I think they're the best team playing right now. But Carolina at home, again, you're taking the Rams cross country, 1:00 game. Weather's going to be frigid wind and all. I think that could get a little dicey. So again, going to be looking at that Panther game, especially since they're getting less than 35% of ticket count and handle. But let's go with the Texans plus 3.5. Let's go with that Bucs Chargers money line parlay. That's a triple unit. Love that. And also Steelers in a 7-point teaser. Anywhere you can put them to get them up to 10.5. Click that like, hit subscribe. Break the Board Sports, where we help you become a better handicapper with trend, stats, and analysis. God bless and happy handicapping.